Welcome to the CWPA Referee Online Education Program. Today's subject, Unusual Situations, Part 1. We will probably have at least one more session on unusual situations because I have quite a collection of video clips depicting different situations. For all referees, it's very important to know the rules, especially when you run into an unusual situation. You want to be able to cite the rules and apply them correctly, especially if you're questioned by a coach. The unusual situations you'll watch today will primarily focus on the Wittenberg Facility and the challenges that we had the other weekend while we were there. Wittenberg is a shallow, deep pool. It's 25 meters, it's L-shaped with 25 yards in the L portion of the facility. The shallow end is 4.5 feet, but it extends at least past half court or the middle field of play. So it's quite substantial, and the players had to make quite an adjustment to playing in that particular area. The referees had voice-activated headsets, which helped quite a bit, especially since the head table was located in the L shape furthest away from the field of play. They also had some diving boards or stanchions that were in the way on the L-shaped side. And because of this and location of the table, the referees changed their responsibility in terms of attack referee working to the right. We now reversed it, and the attack referee was working to his left. This helped out tremendously, and with the voice-activated headsets, it made the tournament go quite nicely. Teams had a little difficult time adjusting at the very beginning, especially if they hadn't been in a shallow pool. But the referees tried to stay on top of off the bottom calls, and teams did make the adjustment as they went through. Clip number 1. What takes place here will be an offensive foul, followed by a free throw taken and a defender knocking the ball out of the free thrower's hand. Is it legal or is it illegal? If it's illegal, it's an exclusion foul. In this situation, the referee called it an exclusion foul. Now I'll let you take a look at this clip, and you can analyze it in your own mind. Now I'll take a look at this in slow motion. Here's your offensive foul, pushing down, ball's not in hand. Good offensive call. But now the question is that a water polo move? In the rule book, it isn't defined as a water polo move. And basically, free throws, time allowed. The time allowed for a player to take a free throw shall be at the discretion of the referees. This is Rule 5 under throws. It shall be reasonable and without undue delay, but does not have to be immediate. It shall be an offense if a player who is clearly in position most readily to take a free throw does not do so. And that didn't happen in this situation. The referee administering the free throw shall point with the arm held horizontally in the direction of the attacking team and will drop the arm to a vertical position when the ball has been put in play. This is very important, and a lot of times referees will drop their arm almost immediately. And then in this situation, a water polo move is not defined as picking the ball up. She's entitled to pick the ball up. But the question is she entitled to look to the left, which she does here, and then come back to the right, seeing the open player, and pass the ball? The defender was really sharp, thought that was a water polo move, knocks the ball out of the hand. We can't see the referee, so we don't know his response as to whether or not the ball is in play. She knocks it out, and interfering with the free throw gets excluded. So those are the factors. That's what you need to look for. In this particular situation, I think there wasn't enough time for her to really take that free throw legally. And the fact that she looked to the left and then quickly looked to the right, she was about ready to pass the ball to this player that was open coming down the middle, and the defender took the ball away. The question is, did the referee drop his arm? And was she looking at the referee to see if he did drop his arm? That's the only question I would have. In this clip, I want you to take a look at it. You make the call. What would you do in this situation? Ball is right here. Offensive player, obviously. Defender. An ordinary foul is going to be called in this location. After the ordinary foul, a couple of things happen. You make the call. Back one more time. Okay, let's analyze it. We have an ordinary foul at the beginning. Hand is on the ball right here, so the defender is allowed to attack. She attacks in such a way that she's going to be basically on top of the offensive player. As she lets go of the ball, so there's your ordinary foul. Could that be an exclusion foul? I think it would be more likely and better to be an ordinary foul. Okay, what happens here? Whose hand is that? That's the hand of the defender, who flips the ball away after the whistle. That would be an exclusion foul, interfering with a free throw. Now note the location of the ball. Where's the ball? It's further away from where the foul occurred. Therefore, that ball has to come back to the point of the foul and be put in play. Did you get the call correct? Time to move on. All right, in this clip, player number 12 with the ball. She's going to move forward and will be attacked by defender number 7. You make the call, basically. We'll discuss it after you have a chance to look at it. Okay, as we take a look at this, player number 7 comes out to meet number 12 with the ball. She lets go of the ball. Basically, she's aggressive and is impeding. In a way, she's sinking, but not to the extent that it would be an exclusion foul in this situation. And now she's entitled to take a free throw. But the reaction of the defender is basically to stay put and not move away and keep 2 hands up in the air. And this would be interfering with a free throw. As we look at the rule, number 7, exclusion fouls, and we look under section 5, interfering with throws, On item C, as a defending player who committed a foul, not moving away from the player taking the free throw before raising an arm to block a pass or a shot. And basically, she never moved back. And she continued to move forward and kept two hands up in the air. And that would be an exclusion foul. All right, in this clip, we're going to take a look at two exclusions. One that occurs setting up a power play, and the defense will align themselves appropriately. However, there will be a second exclusion. Now, there is a problem with this second exclusion, and see if you can tell what it is. Okay, did you see what the problem was? We'll go take it right back to the first exclusion. Okay, that's a good exclusion call. Player is excluded. Now they move into a power play. And right here is where the problem is. This player jumps off the bottom to defend this player, the post player. Of course, we had problems in this particular game, or not necessarily this game, but the whole tournament, with teams playing defense on a power play in the shallow end. The propensity for going off the bottom was quite high, and the referees needed to really step up to catch it and make the appropriate call. And in this situation, definitely off the bottom. You can see this player here. And it comes over the top. Of course, the player that's taking the shot is off the bottom as well. But the precedence has to go to the initial foul, which was this player jumping up on top of the player, the offensive player, who was about to handle the ball. Now, this is not an exclusion foul. This has to be a penalty foul because it happens inside 5-meter area. And if you go to page 79 in the rule book, it spells it out plain and clear. And that's officiating in shallow bottom pools. It's number 3, rule 8-2. Referees must also be aware of rule 8-2, which states that it is a penalty foul for a defending player to commit any foul within the 5-meter area, but for which a goal probably would have resulted. This includes jumping off the bottom by any player other than the goalkeeper to prevent a probable goal. So there you have it. Did you get it correct? The next clip has to do with using the bottom of the pool. Take a look, see if you catch it, and then see if you make the correct decision as to what the call should be. Okay, you can hear the coach yelling, she's standing on the bottom. And what was your read? The defender right here has two hands up. This is inside the 2-meter area, actually. The player with the ball. She's obviously attacking this player with two hands up in the air. Now, what would the ruling be? Would that be an exclusion foul? Or would it be a penalty foul? And actually, if you take a look at Section 2 under penalty fouls within the 5-meter area to prevent goal, and you go down to item B, for defending a player to attempt to block a shot or pass with two hands inside the 5-meter line, the defending player does not have to touch the ball, nor does a shot have to be taken, nor does the shot have to be a probable goal. In interpretation, if the defending player intentionally blocks or attempts to block a pass with two hands that prevents a probable goal, a penalty foul is awarded. It is not a penalty foul if the ball is being passed to a player who was in such a position that the pass would not have led to a probable goal. An exclusion foul should be awarded in this case. So clearly, the fact that the defender has two hands up and it's a shot on the goal, this has to be a penalty foul. And it's inside the 5-meter area. Now, can you determine if this player is actually using the bottom? The chances are to keep two hands up in the air like that and go after the player attacking, she's using the bottom of the pool. There's no question in my mind that she's using the bottom of the pool. For this player to sustain that position, that steady position, just using her legs and egg beater kicking is not really probable. So I would say in this situation, it's a shot on goal. She has two arms up. She's using the bottom. It would definitely be a penalty foul. Administering the penalty foul when they're wall-mounted goals is a little bit of a challenge. It's a little bit different for the goalkeeper. And as rule number 9, section 2, position of other players and goalkeeper, all players shall leave the 5-meter area and shall be at least 2 meters from the player taking the throw. And therefore the referee needs to line up the shooter head on the 5-meter line and the two players that have preference outside, at least 2 meters outside. One each side of the player taking the throw. One player of the defending team shall have the first right to take position. With floating goals, the defending goalkeeper shall be positioned between the goalposts with no part of the goalkeeper's body beyond the goal line at water level. And usually we use the head on the goal line to administer that with floating goals. With wall goals, the defending goalkeeper must assume a position with hips on the goal line. Should the goalkeeper be out of the water, another player may take the position of goalkeeper, but without the goalkeeper's privileges and limitations. So, you can see in this video clip that the goalkeeper is trying to keep her head on the goal line until she's told to get her hips on the goal line. The referee will walk down and deal with it. And she keeps looking up with her head, so I don't think she really understands that her hips are on the goal line. And of course the ball rebounds back into the field of play, and this is a live ball. Anybody can shoot at the goal that gains possession of it if they have the opportunity. All right, here we are at the NCAA Championships for the last clip. And this is in the last minute of play. I'm not sure exactly how many seconds remaining, but there's less than a minute to play in the game. Cal Berkeley is in the white caps. They have possession of the ball. UCLA is in the dark caps. See if you can figure out what should transpire in this sequence. Okay, I'll take that back one more time, because Cal Berkeley calls for a timeout. That horn was a timeout call by the coach. All right, the problem with calling a timeout, there was no possession. Cal did not have possession of the ball. Therefore, what's the ruling? So now we'll take a look at the rules and determine exactly what should happen. Okay, in the last clip we have a case scenario where Cal Berkeley in the white caps, UCLA in the blue caps. Cal Berkeley has the ball but makes a pass to another player, and during that situation the head coach blows the horn for a timeout. Basically, there is no possession or no clear possession, so therefore rule number 4 under the game, section 11, timeout called when neither team has possession. If a team calls for a timeout when neither team has possession of the ball, the referee shall blow the whistle and award a penalty throw to the team that did not call the timeout. Take away the longest timeout available for the team that called the timeout improperly. Possession includes physically controlling the ball, holding the ball, or the referee's whistle indicating one team has been awarded the ball. Possession does not include when the ball is in the air, on a pass or shot, nor does it include being closer to or merely touching the ball without physically controlling or holding the ball. So basically, there isn't that much time left in the game, less than a minute. UCLA now has a choice. They can either take the penalty throw or, according to rule number 8, penalty fouls, section 8, award of penalty foul in the last minute, article 1. If in the last minute of the game or in the last minute of the second overtime period or at any time during sudden victory overtime periods, a penalty throw is awarded to a team, the coach may elect to maintain possession of the ball in lieu of taking the penalty throw. The team will be awarded a free throw on or behind the half-distance line with a new possession clock and will start play as after a timeout. And that is exactly what UCLA chose to do. You can view these clips and see a description of each by going to Darfish TV under the Collegiate Water Polo Association channel. If you have any questions, please contact me. Comments are welcomed on content and subject. All views on each clip would be open for discussion if I was reviewing them with the referee involved. The purpose of the discussion would be to improve consistency and serve as an educational tool for improvement.